Hey everyone, Steve here with Class A Surfacing. Now, I had a commenter ask me some questions regarding how do I do a localized change on a part? Meaning I have a big part and I just want to morph just a portion of it using Xform. So there's different ways you can go about doing that, but with this Xform tool specifically, how do I go about doing that? Now here I just have a regular block, and you can do this with anything, of course, because NX is that powerful. And I'm going to go into Xform, and I'm going to pick this top face, and I'm going to use a vector, specify my vector direction, just like you've seen me use previous times. Now, I'm going to increase the degree here. I'm just going to go 2 by 2, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to pull this down. And as you can see, as I move this, this change basically goes along this entire edge. It's affecting the entire length of the part. This is more of a global kind of morph. This is more of a global shape change, and we don't want such a overarching global shape change. We want something more localized. Maybe I want to just modify this front edge over here a little bit more, and I don't want it touching the back. I just want to maybe I got to offset something or move something just a hair, get a clearance proper, or whatever that may be. A lot of times you have to model in, and this is something that we got to talk about, like with springback, or you're creating a seal for a door or a trunk or a hood, and you want to make sure that you morph your surfaces a little bit to compensate for how much the seal is pushing back. So we don't want to change the entire surface. That's more of a local shape change. So how do we go about doing that? And this is one way. So in this case, I'm going to just simply hit OK, and I'm going to go over to Analysis. I'm going to pick this top face, and I'm going to show poles, and I'm going to show knots, so we can see all those things. So these are our control points. Now, when I go back into my Xform, what I want you to notice is I have these patches. These patches are how I can create more of a localized change. If I increase this patch count, you'll notice that I get an additional seam. Right? I got another control point, a row of control points, but I get this additional seam. So now if I pick this edge here, let me go in by vector, pick my vector, come in here, pick this, and drag this. You'll notice that the changes that I'm making are very localized. There's almost no change going on beyond this additional patch that I've added. So here, it's basically locked it down. Now, I don't have control of where this patch goes here, but I do have the ability to add as many of these in as I want. Now, you have to be cautious, because what will end up happening is you're making a very complex surface at this point. The more patches, the greater the complexity. If I go in there and increase the degree, you'll notice I have even more of a local change, because again, I'm increasing the amount of control points. If I increase this patch count again, now I have 2 seams, and you'll see here, it's basically the changes are taking place from here back in this direction. Now, if I take, and let me rotate this a little bit, and I'm going to grab this edge and move it, you'll notice once again, I'm seeing this change occur along this entire edge. And again, if I don't want that, I can just again increase my patch count. I'll go up a couple, grab this, and you'll see that change is now very localized to that edge. Now, if I grab a row interior to that, again, by nature of these control points, you'll see this change does occur further back. But again, it stops at this patch boundary. If I grab this row of control points, it's between these 2 patch boundaries, you'll see that change go beyond each of those patch boundaries. So if you need additional control, you can increase your control points, and you can increase your patches as well. And again, really, let me get this out of the way, severely just minimize the amount of space that you're manipulating. So if I grab this one little control point, you'll see that it's a very, very minor change to this area, nothing else. And it's very compacted. So if you need to make localized changes, increase the patch count. Now, you can get pretty crazy with this. You can increase patches in degree 20, 25, 20, or 24 degree patches. I think it's a bit more. But you don't want to get too complex. You want to use the minimum amount of math. But again, the more complex you make it, the more likelihood it's going to be to manufacture, or you'll end up with further discrepancies. Like if you go to do stuff with this post-use with, let's say you got to project curves onto the surface, then those curve projections are going to be that complex and much more based off of the curve shape. If you have to trim and fill it and so on and so forth. So you want to minimize the amount of math or parameterization that you're using. But again, to get the shape that you want, minimize it, but increase it until you get to the desired shape that you want, or to the required position that surface needs to reside in. Now, there are some other settings in here that we can discuss, like settings for my boundaries and such. Here is extraction method, fit to boundary. If I click this, what it's going to do is it's going to say, right now it's trying to fit it into the boundary of that top surface. I have minimum bounded. And again, this is more along the lines, think about it as if I have a chain of surfaces. Where is the boundary? What am I bounding against? And you're not going to really see much of a difference on this because it's just one planar patch on top of an extrusion. So this is you're going to see more changes relative to the higher complex the surfaces are, how many boundaries or how many patches that you have on that surface. And then you also have based off of original. So if you're doing something a bit more complex, you may have to play around with these settings here. And then you also, again, your parameterization, and then how you're moving your control points. So that's basically how you would go about localizing a change on a surface, or in this case, a solid. So increase the degree and increase the patches until you get what you want. Again, thanks for watching. Please, if you like the video, like it, subscribe, and share with your friends.